What up, YouTube? Well, it looks like we got hit by YouTube's dreaded demonetization bot. So this really sucks, but at the same time, I guess I knew what to expect. I mean, I knew this was coming because everybody's getting hit by it. I just didn't know when it was going to happen, but I'm not at all surprised. So anyways, one day last week, I get on here to go upload a new video, and I met with this. Yep, all these yellow icons. Limited or no ads. Not suitable for most advertisers. Now, at first sight, this just like looks really scary because it's like, oh my god, all my videos are losing all of their advertising revenue. Well, that really sucks, right? Well, the videos are not completely demonetized. What Google is basically saying is that they're not going to serve the same level of ads on these videos as they would a normal video on YouTube. But what really sucks about this is that it seems like Google is blacklisting entire games. Um, for instance, all of my Left 4 Dead videos except for two have all been hit by their demonetization bot with limited or no ads. And what really sucks is that Google doesn't tell you, well, okay, you say limited or no ads. Well, which one is it? Well, they don't tell you that. Is it limited ads or is it no ads at all? So you have to basically go through your analytics and actually look at the videos themselves, look at the analytics on them to actually get an idea of what's being still being served ads and what isn't. So in our case, it looks like a lot of these videos are still getting ads, just not to the same degree that they used to. Now, in the case of the videos that were demonetized on our channel on Gamers Bay, it looks like they mainly targeted our Left 4 Dead videos. And what really sucks about this is that it seems like Google is blacklisting entire game series like Call of Duty, Destiny, Resident Evil has been almost completely blacklisted. Now Left 4 Dead. Anything with any type of violence or gore, anything like that, it seems like they're just pulling the plug on it. They just don't want to serve ads on it. And so it just sucks because here, me and my friends spent over 600 hours producing these videos over the summer, over 60 Left 4 Dead videos. And I think we did a total of like 500 and something recordings. That's how much work we did to produce these videos. A lot of different mods, playthroughs, versus and survival matches in Left 4 Dead, and now I feel like all my work is just being destroyed. And it really sucks because it's like, like here for instance, like this video, Left 4 Dead Star Wars Death Star Dino Survival. It's a bunch of dinosaurs running around a map in Left 4 Dead in a custom map, swinging lightsabers. This is a travesty to humanity. I mean, come on. Advertisers are scared of this. What is Google thinking? And it just seems like they're just screwing everybody's channels. But so, anyways, we actually had 83 videos get hit by the demonetization bot. And for us, that's really not that bad because I think we have like over 400 something videos total. And so I don't feel like our channel's like destroyed or anything, but it's definitely a huge setback. And it makes me feel like I'm not going to be able to cover the games that I really enjoy, like Left 4 Dead. It's my favorite game. And I know that if I keep producing videos for it, I'm going to be making like 5 cents for 1,000 views. And let's face it, I can't live off of that. I can't keep my lights on. I can't pay my electric bill. We can't pay our mortgage with 5 cents. So obviously that's not going to work. So there's a lot of censorship going on and stuff like that that's really involved with this whole demonetization fiasco. And I get it too. I understand that the events that led up to this. A lot of YouTubers were doing a lot of really bad things last year, the beginning of this year. Some people were doing creating some pretty shady videos around some pretty shady topics. There's been a lot of harassment on YouTube. both in terms of its users, its everyday content consumers, and its creators. And then you had issues with hate speech, and huge, that just blew up in the media, was way overblown, and here we are. So it really sucks that it came down to this. But yeah, so we had 83 videos get demonetized in what seemed like a second flat. And what really sucks is back in August, we contacted YouTube and spoke to a rep, and they told us, look, in fact, here's the email right here that they sent back to us. It basically says, there's no problems with your videos. We just checked them out, and we can confirm that monetization is enabled and that ads are being served, and there's no problems. And I said, oh, okay, great, you know. Well, I knew something wasn't right to begin with because our Left 4 Dead videos were not pulling in any ad revenue, like virtually at all, except for a couple of them. And what revenue was coming in was very, very little. So I knew something wasn't right, and that was why we contacted them to begin with. And but then, you know, to actually have a YouTube rep tell me, oh no, there's no problem with your videos, they lied to me. They just straight up lied to me and tell me, oh no, everything's fine. So we keep making Left 4 Dead videos. I'm working 75, 80 hours a week to produce these videos, and now I'm told that all my work is just being thrown in the trash. It just sucks. It just really does. You know, we haven't even started promoting these videos. We spent so much time creating them. I haven't really had a chance to promote these elsewhere on the web except for Google Plus. And now I don't really feel compelled to promoting this stuff, you know. And I have to say, this is kind of a motivation killer. It's kind of like, well, you know, I'm working 90 hours a week some weeks to produce videos and to try to grow these channels on YouTube. And Google just takes all my work and just throws it out with the trash. And you know what really sucks is the fact that I moderate for Google, you know? I'm not brand new to Google. Yeah, we're kind of new to YouTube, but we're not new to Google Plus. We've been on Google Plus for 6 years. We've been producing content there for a long time. Like here's a gamers-based community on Google Plus. We have like close to, I think, 15,000 members. And we moderate for Google. You know, Google basically lets us be the judge and jury of people and content across the Google Plus platform. And we operate a lot of brands here. I mean, it's not just Gamers Bay. Like here, for instance, we have a travel photography community, and there's like 238,000 people in here. Strategic social networking, there's 157,000 people. And now, after 6 years of growing these brands at Google Plus and elsewhere across the web, it's like, okay, well, you know, we have bills to pay, right? And I spent thousands upon thousands of hours building these audiences. So we're trying to make use of YouTube as a means to produce revenue for these brands. And so I stuck with Gamers Bay first, even though it's definitely by far not our largest brand. It's actually my favorite out of all of them. And so I've really started investing a lot more time into Gamers Bay over the last year. And so here we produce like 300 videos in this channel in a little over a year, and 83 videos just lose like 90% of their advertising, and it just sucks. It really does. And we, you know what? It could be worse. Some channels like literally have thousands of videos, or all of their videos get flagged. They lost all their monetization. They have no leg left to stand on as far as YouTube goes. Their channels are pretty much destroyed at this point. And so what's another thing that's really messed up about this is that Google says that in their policies, let me find it here. You know, it says video content where the focal point is on blood, violence, or injury when presented without additional context is not eligible for advertising. The key words that matter here, presented without additional context. Then it goes on to state, violence in the normal course of video gameplay is generally acceptable for advertising. There you have it. They say one thing and then they turn around and do another. They tell you that violence in the normal course of gameplay is fine, and then they go in to demonetize all your videos. I mean, what? Really? And it says if you're showing violent content in a news, educational, artistic, or documentary context, that additional context is important. Well, apparently it's not, because they're just demonetizing everybody's stuff. And so there you have it. Their own rules state violence in video games is totally acceptable, and then they tell you, no, it's not, and we're going to demonetize your stuff anyways. So it really, really sucks. And this is actually from an article that I wrote about this issue up on Gamerspace publication on Medium. And so it's just really messed up that, it's like, what are we supposed to do? What are the alternatives? You have vidme.com, which really doesn't have a humongous audience. They don't really have a way to really earn a lot of revenue. And it's like people invested their lives into YouTube, and now it's all just been destroyed the second flat. And what's really messed up, another thing that's really messed up about this is that we moderate for Google. Google lets us be the judge and jury on Google Plus. Like here, for instance, if I go to the travel photography community, okay, and I click on moderate, and you can see there's literally thousands of posts flagged for review in this community right now. And if I go over here, let's say obviously this is complete spam. This guy right here, this is total spam. And if I click ban, and I click ban again, that account's done for. Google's not going to ask us twice. He's gone. That's it. That's it. That post was already flagged as being suspicious. And I've been here for over 6 years. Google trusts me. If I tell them, hey, this content, this person, this idea, whatever this person's doing is bad, Google's just going to agree with us. So they trust us to enforce their policies on Google+. But then they turn around and say, we don't trust the gameplay videos that the game reviews you do on YouTube. I mean, are you kidding me? So you trust me to be the judge and jury of an entire social network, and then I get on YouTube, make some gaming videos, and you tell me you're not so sure if you trust that content. It's just goofy. It really is. It's just really, really goofy. It just doesn't make any sense. I just don't know what to think about this. I don't know. I mean, here I did it. If you do a search for demonetized, it shows like right here on YouTube, there's about 311,000 results. Literally page after page after page of people talking about how they were demonetized. You laugh, you get demonetized. PewDiePie. Chris Reagan, demonetized, we have the cure. Laserbeam, demonetized. Birdman, his entire channel just got completely screwed. I saw his stuff. It's really bad. Google just completely screwed him over. And he's been here since like 2011. Look, the list just goes on and on and on. Here's one from Philip DeFranco. YouTube is shutting down my channel and I'm not sure what to do. It seems like a ton of Philip DeFranco's content. He's one of the biggest personalities on the entire YouTube platform. He's one of the biggest channels here. And they have just ravaged his videos. It's just been destroyed. Conservative channels are getting hit hard. I admit a lot of the right-wing conservative commentators on YouTube have done some really shady stuff. A lot of them probably did deserve to get demonetized. Spreading conspiracy theories and inciting hatred and violence and stuff like that. It's not cool. But just straight up demonetizing people for having political views, I think that's wrong. This goes a step too far. I think Google needs to be able to find a way to differentiate between who's spreading hatred and violence and intolerance and who's just expressing political beliefs. Anything religious is getting demonetized right now. If you use the word Jesus, here I'll give you an example. If you use the word Jesus in a video, they'll demonetize that right now. Anything religious. Like for instance, here, this new fighting game that just came out, Fight of Gods, which we did some videos for recently. Fight of Gods featuring Jesus. Behold the Son of God in battle. Demonetized. Here's another one, another Fight of Gods with Gautama Buddha. Demonetized. And so then it's kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do? Make videos of the Care Bears and like the Smurfs? I mean, should we just start making Hello Kitty videos and just forget Left 4 Dead? What am I supposed to do here? All this censorship sucks. And it seems like a lot of this is not done by accident. It was done deliberately. And, Google says, oh, we have these new filters in place for the advertisers so that they can decide where they want to place their ads. Well, Google, why don't you leave it up to the advertisers to make that decision? If you're giving them the filters to make that decision, then why are you doing it for them? That's what doesn't make any sense. So there's another thing to consider. There's a few other things to consider here. If you're a creator, there's a lot of things that will get you flagged. A lot of people have said, I don't understand. A lot of videos, a lot of game coverage, a lot of different types of content on YouTube that have been flagged for demonetization or partial monetization, like in our case. They may have the most harmless of content and their stuff is getting flagged anyways. And part of the reason is because of the comment sections in your videos. If you have a lot of hate speech and a lot of profanity, if people are expressing a lot of hate and profanity and intolerance and within your within the comment sections of your videos, you're going to have problems. They're going to demonetize your videos for that. But there are some things you can do. You can assign moderators to your channel. Like here, if I click on community, you can assign moderators to your channel. And another, let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, community settings. You click on community settings, comments, community settings, and you can just basically it gives you a list here. It shows default settings, comments on your new videos, and you can select hold potentially inappropriate comments for review. Now, if you're a content creator and you rely on YouTube to make a living, you really should hold the potentially inappropriate comments. You really should have those withheld. You can always go back and review them and permit the ones that you feel like are not really out of line, or it's not somebody, they're not harassing anybody or anything like that. But it's not a perfect system. It's just an algorithm. It does make mistakes. But if you have a lot of traffic on your channel or on certain videos, you don't want a whole bunch of profanity on there. Google will demonetize your videos if there's a lot of hate speech there. The advertisers have made themselves very clear. They do not want their ads near hate speech or anybody preaching violence or hatred or anything like that. And, big channels like, Scarce have been hit with a lot of demonetization. That's because he has a lot of profanity. There's a lot of harassment going on in the comment sections of his videos. So it's best to avoid that stuff. Another thing you can do too is you can assign moderators to your channel to basically police the comment sections of your videos. They can report and delete comments, ban people, block them from the channel, etc. But it really sucks what's going on. I do understand there should be rules of accountability. There should be rules of engagement on YouTube. I think what it really comes down to is there's been a lot of bad actors on YouTube. People have been, there's been a lot of harassment, like I said before, a lot of harassment. You have channels, you have people creating channels for the sole purpose to harass other YouTubers and harass people in general. And so this is kind of Google's response to the advertisers' concerns, to the concerns with harassment that they've been having a really difficult time dealing with over the years. You go on Google Plus, we don't have this problem. Why? Because of Google Plus, it's extremely well moderated. Like my brands at Google Plus, I don't know how many moderators we have, probably 40 or 50 total, somewhere around there, across all of our brands. And then Google also has additional in-house moderation as well. So the platform's heavily policed. You can't harass people on there. Like people get in here on YouTube and they'll go on videos and start throwing the N-word everywhere and threatening people and harassing people. And it's like, you do that on Google Plus, man, your account will get suspended. After that, you're terminated. You're gone. I mean, it's that simple. If you mouth off the moderators, you're going to get terminated. You're going to get suspended. You're going to get terminated. Um, but I mean, they need to figure out what's fair and what's not, because I just feel like what Google's doing is wrong. They really need to rethink their policies here, because it seems like a lot of the stuff that's getting demonetized is stuff that's just like, like this fighting layer game. All right, this is a fighting game really similar to Street Fighter EX3 that I did a review on about a week ago. And that got demonetized for like 2 days after I first published it. And then they remonetized it. So I don't know what's going on here. I'm like, man, you know what? It had a commentary in it. It was an honest review. It's meant to be educational. There was no reason. There's no blood in the game. There was no reason to demonetize it at all. It's an arcade game, and so it just seems like everybody's stuff is just getting demonetized. There's food channels that are doing food reviews that are getting demonetized. Like I said, if you talk about anything that's religious, I saw one channel, this lady just talks about makeup, and all of her videos got demonetized. I'm like, really? And it just goes on and on and on. There seems like there's no end in sight to this. And this lady, the leader, the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, I think is how you pronounce her name. I think this lady is just not with the program here. She's not listening to the concerns of YouTubers. It seems like, she goes and creates a channel recently and creates a video and says, "This is my first video." Well, you know what, lady, why aren't you communicating with the concerns of all these people who are calling out for your help? Instead of just turning a blind eye and pretending like you're deaf and not responding to anything. So yeah, people are being unfairly, they're being unfairly censored is what it feels like, just for simple gaming videos. This is just ridiculous. They're just video games. I don't understand. We're not harassing people here. We're just trying to have fun. We're trying to make, we're producing content. This is something that we love to do, and it leaves us without a leg to stand on. It's like we spent years building all these brands on Google Plus, and like, for instance, here's Gamerspace community on Google Plus, has like 15,000 members. Well, what really sucks about Google Plus is Google doesn't give you any way to monetize in this platform. So I've like invested tens of thousands of hours of time building brands here. And it's like, okay, great. A year ago we said, hey, you know what? Let's get on YouTube. Let's start building channels for each of the brands. Let's start with Gamers Bay. Let's build it already had a channel with a few videos on it. Let's work on that. And next thing we know, it's kind of like, oh, now we're at a dead end. How do we monetize from this? What do we do? We all have bills to pay here. And I've been pretty lucky. I've had a lot of support with some of my brands. Like this guy here, Michael Haney, moderator for Gamers Bay. This guy's really cool. He's stuck with us for a really long time. He produces a lot of content for Gamers Bay as well. He's a content creator, not just a moderator. Like over here, Davina Najee with Strategic. She's an administrator for Strategic Social Networking. She's also a content producer. She just wrote this article, Demystifying Self-Motivation. How do you develop it? So I've been pretty lucky. I've had a lot of support with my brands from other people that I've met over the years on Google Plus. But for a lot of these people on YouTube, it's like they don't really have, you have a channel, Some of these channels have 500,000, a million subscribers, and it's one person. And it's really hard to police the comment sections of 1,000 videos when you don't know who to trust. Because you've just been producing video, but you may not have the relationships with the people that you can really trust to moderate on your channel. And the other thing too is, how do you moderate a comment section that has 5 or 10,000 comments? And is Google's algorithms going to be able to flag all the really bad derogatory remarks, all the hate speech and stuff? Are they actually going to pick that stuff up? They'll probably pick up most of it, but probably not all of it. So it does leave concerns there. Those people, they're really stuck because they're probably going to get demonetized anyways. But what really sucks for us is that because we haven't spent a lot of time on YouTube, like our channels, we've been on Google Plus for 6 years. We haven't been on YouTube for 6 years. Our channels are really, really small. Gamers Bay is the largest with 400 and something videos. We only have 351 subscribers, so you have to have, if your channel has less than 10,000 subs, or if your videos have under 1,000 views in 7 days after they're published, Google says they will not review it. They will not review the videos. So if they mark your videos as being demonetized or partially demonetized, you have no recourse. They basically told us that we cannot request a review for our demonetized videos. Not suitable for most advertisers, but here's the thing. When you click on edit and I scroll down and go to monetization, it shows right here. Right now, we are only able to review videos with at least 1,000 views in the past 7 days. We'll review your video once it reaches that threshold. Well, most of our videos don't get 1,000 views in 7 days. We only have 351 subscribers, and unfortunately, our audiences on Google Plus, they don't hang out on YouTube. We can get them to watch a lot of the videos and share them and talk about them, engage with them on Google Plus, but they won't go to the channel. They just don't like YouTube. They won't hang out here. It's a totally different audience, and I get that. You have people that just like Twitter, and they're not going to hang out on Google Plus. It's just the same thing. Everybody has their platforms of choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we have more work to do to build up audiences on YouTube as well. But I really wish that Google would give us some sort of recourse and say, hey, you know what, we have no way to, instead of telling us, oh, well, we're going to demonetize this video, and by the way, you have no way to defend yourselves at all. You're just demonetized, and that's it. But like I said, it could be worse. Some channels like Birdman, who literally had like 98% of his videos get demonetized. Man, I really feel bad for these people. Here we had 83 videos, and we've since had, I think, 4 or 5 videos get remonetized. So it's not all bad. It could be worse. But yeah, now I have to focus on, well, what games can I cover that aren't going to get, screwed by Google's algorithms, what is safe to produce content for? I know Resident Evil's out and stuff like that. And here, let me see here. If I go back to the front of the channel, one area we've been pretty lucky is with arcade games. So these have stayed in pretty good shape. They have not really attacked our arcade game videos much at all. These have all remained pretty safe. I think only 2 or 3 out of 122 arcade game reviews that we did, only 2 or 3 have actually been demonetized at all. So we've been pretty lucky with that. We cover a lot of rail shooters and stuff. House of the Dead 2 got flagged. I did this video back in, I think it was March or May or something like that of this year, and It's had like 5,000 views, and I think it's earned a total of like 30 cents or something. Well, normally you would earn like 50 cents or a buck on like 1,000 views, but I mean, yeah, to get 5,000 views and to literally earn like 30 cents, that's just horrible. But yeah, we've been pretty lucky because, like I said, a lot of our other games have not been demonetized, but that doesn't mean that Google won't, because we did a lot of Primal Rage stuff too. And I know games like Mortal Kombat have been demonetized. So some fighting games they've already taken the axe to them. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming that they could demonetize a lot more of our content. I hope it doesn't happen. And like I said, if you're a small channel, you're screwed because you can't request a review. You can request it, but that doesn't mean that Google's actually going to review it. Like in our case, what's really weird is they tell you, oh well, if you will be permitted to have your videos reviewed, the monetization status reviewed, we will provide a link for you to click to submit it. If not, you will not have the link. So I guess because of our audience, maybe they are reviewing our videos. I don't know, because like I said, after I requested a review on all the videos that got flagged, like I said, 4 or 5 of them have been reapproved. So I guess maybe they are reviewing our videos. And I guess maybe it's because of our audience on Google Plus, because we have like close to 30,000 community members and brand page followers for Gamers Bay. So yeah, we're not brand new here. We do have a sizable audience. It's just not directly on YouTube, but it's on Google's other social platform. So anyways, yeah, I don't trust the Susan lady that runs this platform. I just don't think she understands the creators. I don't think she's doing what's right for them. I think it's kind of like she's doing whatever she can to protect Google, but she's not taking into consideration the wants and needs of the YouTube community itself, as far as its users go, its content creators, and the people who just generally make use of the platform as a whole. They really need to get some new leadership. The leadership's really, really bad. We should have never had the ad fiasco take place, the adpocalypse that took place this year. That should have never happened to begin with. You know, it really shouldn't have. Google knew what was going on. Susan Wojcicki knew what was going on. She did absolutely nothing about it. This lady just turns a blind eye to every problem on this platform. Why does it take all these years to figure out that you have a serious problem with harassment here? Even today, YouTube is just overrun with trash. I mean, you have people on here that have nothing but hatred for humanity. They hide behind sock puppet profile and just literally spend their entire day harassing people. They're born with a silver spoon in their mouths. They don't work for a living. They have nothing to do. They have no lives. And so they just sit here and harass people. It's really pathetic. And, Google's allowed to go on for so long. It finally gets to the point where advertisers like, you know what? We don't want our ads anywhere near this stuff. And I understand. I totally get it. They don't. I wouldn't either. If I was advertising if I was an ad firm representing a multi-million dollar companies and presenting their ads to the public, I don't want to put their ads on videos full of derogatory language and hate speech, and they have comment sections with people threatening to kill each other and all this garbage. So it's but YouTubers, we have to take responsibility too to do the right thing here. We have to do our part as well. Google is giving us some tools. Like I said, you can assign moderators to your channel. You can flag inappropriate comments automatically for review. That's one option as well. You really should do that. Now, here's something to note. If you are going to set that up on your channel, let's say you have 600 videos. If you go and turn on hold potentially inappropriate comments for review, Google will only set that to function on all of your future videos. you will have to go in if you want that to work for all of your videos, your previous videos, you're going to have to go back to your video manager. Here, I'll show you. We'll go to Creator Studio. You're going to have to go to Video Manager. This is after you enable it from the community link right there. And you're going to click right here, this box. And you can see it shows all videos. You see where it says select all videos and not just the 30 videos in this page. You'll click that. And then you'll come down here to community. No, yeah, is it community conscious? Let me see here. More actions. User ratings, age restrictions, it's captions, category, comments. I think it's community contributions, and then you will select hold all potentially inappropriate comments for review from there. Because if you don't do that, and we're going to cancel because we're not actually I'm not changing anything. Mine are already set up for it, but you'll have to do that to update all of your previous videos to get that to work. So yeah, this sucks. I don't know. I mean, like in our case, it's definitely not a death sentence. You can see here, look how many videos are still monetized. There's a chunk right there that aren't. But yeah, and like I said, in our case, they're not completely demonetized. Google's saying, well, we'll still permit some ads in these videos, but not to the same extent we would with the with the videos with the green icon. But yeah, it really sucks when this happens. So hopefully Google can get some, figure out a way to smooth out their algorithms to where they're not just flagging, these are gaming videos, Like I said, we're not preaching hatred for humanity here. We're just creating just gameplay. They're game reviews and multiplayer matches in Left 4 Dead and stuff like that. But yeah, I probably won't be doing any more Left 4 Dead stuff for a while. That's probably going to be out at this point. I just don't know what else to say or do. My arcade game videos have looked like they're pretty straight and narrow. I have not really had a bunch of issues with them, so we're gonna keep doing reviews of those, along with we're getting ready to do retro game reviews as well. Wow, there's an error right there. I've been getting that a lot too lately with YouTube. It just messes up at times. So yeah, this sucks. Hopefully they can smooth this out in time. If not, I'm also going to start looking at to see what the alternatives are. We have started producing videos over on VidMe. That is another option. It's not a really big platform yet, but it could grow over time. And they're starting to implement ads there slowly. You can tip people. Another thing with YouTube that you can do is if you have over 1,000 subs, you can have sponsorships now, where your audience could pay $4.99 a month to basically have a paid subscription to your channel. That's one option. We don't have 1,000 subs on Gamers Bay yet, so we can't do that. Well, I think we have like 350 subs or something like that. But we're gonna get there in due time. It does take time. So, anyways, that's the gist. That's what happened to us. It sucks. I was really, really, really on edge. I was really upset when I first saw that, and now I've kind of mellowed out. I'm like, it's not so bad. They are still serving ads in most of these videos, even the ones that they say have limited or no ads. They're still getting ads. It's just not to the degree that they were or that they could have been. And for content creators, you really should think twice about the games that you're covering. If it's stuff that's really got a lot of violence in it, man, just be prepared. And like I said, if you don't have a humongous audience on YouTube and you're not getting a ton of views, which is kind of the situation that we're in for when a new video goes up, you may not be able to get Google just to review that So in that case, you may want to skip out in those videos for now until you can grow more, and then come back to them and cover them later. So anyways, that's what's happened to us. Man, I feel really, really bad for these other YouTube creators. Um, I still hope this season just scrams. I hope they get rid of her. She's the absolute worst thing that's ever happened to YouTube. Just a terrible CEO. She's not a good leader at all. Google really does need new executive leadership pretty much across the board. There's been some issues with Google Plus too, and some of the leaders there. But we can save that for another video. Anyways, many thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our future videos. Definitely check out Gamers Bay Community. There'll be a link below in the description. And until next time, take care.